Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. Let's kick it off.
First of all, DaRon, welcome to Denver. My first question is, you just take us to draft night when you found out you were Denver. Walk us through, what was that like? What were your impressions of Denver being the team to select you?
It was surreal, to be able to spend that moment with family, friends, coaches, teammates, second to none. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so it was amazing. I found out I was going to Denver. We went to this back room after I had the Phoenix Suns hat on, and this guy came in there and said, well, you guys are both getting traded. We got to get you your new hats. And he said I was going to Denver, so I was just very excited. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So,
DaRon over here. You have been in contact with the Nuggets for a long time. Just what were some of those initial conversations like, and just what initially attracted you to the Nuggets?
Honestly, we just heard that they really liked me, and I had a lot of interest in them as well. So it was a great situation. I didn't. A lot of it was my agent. All I was really doing was keeping my head down and working hard, and now I'm here. So I'm just excited to be here.
DaRon, how kind of settled in have you gotten so far in Denver? I know it's been like a pretty big whirlwind in the quick turnaround, and what does kind of the next few weeks look like for you as you kind of try and get settled in, get ready for Summer League and all that?
Yeah, it's been great. It's all new to me. It's like my first time here. I think I came here once when I was a lot younger, but now that I'm here, I'm just excited. And to be honest, these next couple weeks is just time to get to work. After a lot of this stuff settles down, I'm just ready to get in the lab and just see what I have to do next.
What do you know? What have you seen? What do you like about Nikola Jokic's game, and what do you think you can learn from him?
I mean, I think everybody likes Nikola Jokic's game, if we're being real. I can learn anything and everything from him, offensively and defensively. I just think that he's very smart. He knows how to play with other great players, very selfless, very coachable. So all those things I think he just sets the tone with, and everybody else just kind of follows that. So I think I'm just ready to learn from him.
Questions for Tommy. Just from the team perspective, how did this come together? Just what initially attracted you to DaRon, and just some of the skill set that he brings?
Well, I mean, DaRon is, he's a hell of a player, to begin with. I mean, he's somebody that kind of embodies our MO, our DNA, all other acronyms as well. I mean, this kid is he's a winner. His team won a lot. You were, fourth in the nation in free throw attempts and things like that. I mean, some of that stuff really attracts to us because, we don't really get to the line too much. And I mean, his ability to stretch the floor, to get to the rim, to play both ends of the floor. And then at the end of the day, just as importantly, he's a great human being. I got a chance to have dinner with him yesterday, and we called everybody around him, did a great job bribing everybody around you. Everybody was very positive about you. And, these are the kind of people we try to bring into our organization, and we know that they succeed with us.
Tommy, where do you see him fitting kind of specifically within what you guys have built within this Nuggets franchise?
Really everywhere. I know, he had a press conference as well, right, during the draft. He can play with everybody on our team at the end of the day. I mean, he's a versatile player. He can play with Joker, he can play behind Joker, with Aaron, next to Aaron, Zeke, and Vlatko, all those guys. And that's a huge asset for Coach Malone to use when you need something specific on the floor. I mean, he can do it all.
Thanks.
Hey, DaRon. Your three-point shooting really improved in terms of efficiency and number of attempts as a junior. I'm just curious what that process looked like in terms of you getting more comfortable with that shot.
It was really simple for me. My first 2 years I didn't shoot as many threes. It's just because I wasn't confident. The reason I wasn't confident is because I can honestly say I wasn't working as hard as I was my junior year on it. Summer going into junior year, I was with this manager, and all we did every single day was the same drill. We just drilled it, even during the season, the same drill. So me working hard on that and really trying to improve helped my confidence, and since my confidence was high in the game, I wasn't afraid to take the shots.
I'm just curious what that drill looked like.
Well, I explained it before. So we started with just going around simply with 10 shots at each spot. Then we come back the same way. Then we do star drill, 10 shots at each spot, come back the same way. Then we do one where we inch around slowly. Instead of moving to 5 spots, we just inch around like until you get 50 shots, come back the other way. And after that, we would rep a lot of the things I would do in a game. So like game-like situations like pick and pop, maybe like trailing. So a bunch of that stuff added in. So, just mixing all that stuff up.
DaRon, when you look at your game, what part of it do you feel like is the most NBA ready, and where do you feel like you want to improve the most this summer?
I honestly think the most NBA ready part of my game is kind of like what Mr. Tommy's been saying, just being versatile, being able.
Mr. Tommy?
Mr. Tommy, yes, sir. Being versatile, just being able to do a lot of different things on the floor. Being able to be selfless, be a team player, also make winning plays, and just being bought into the culture. Defensively, I feel the same way, being able to switch, being able to be vocal, talk, use my hands, being everywhere on the floor. Honestly, I think that the biggest thing to get better at is everything. I don't believe in, like, anybody's arrived yet. You could always get better at something. So I'm not going to sit up here and say I've made it, and I'm not going to sit up here and say that I know everything I'm good at. So.
DaRon, who is maybe the coolest person who's reached out to you, and have any Nuggets reached out to you since you were drafted?
The first Nugget to reach out to me, I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life, was Julian Strawler. First one, and he was the only one to really reach out so far. The rest of them, I heard they're great people, so I can't wait to meet them. I met Hunter Tyson in the locker room. The coaches reached out to me. Tommy reached out to me, Mr. Tommy, and then Calvin reached out to me. So a bunch of great people reached out.
Yeah, just a question for Tommy. I know that this time of year right now is very busy, very chaotic. I know we're mostly focusing on the draft right now, but just potential loss of KCP. Just what does that mean for the team going forward?
The free agency is still happening, so nothing's set in stone, obviously. But just in general, the NBA right now is kind of on the verge of changing just a little bit, right? Because of the new regulatory challenges and the new CBA. I mean, it's going to be a fun challenge for a lot of teams, and we're trying to be ahead of it in so many ways. I think that there's going to be missteps along the way for every team, really, to kind of start to calibrate where this new CBA is going to lead us. And that's why I think this particular free agency in the draft period was a little different for everybody. Because all of a sudden, now there are going to be rules and regulations in place that are going to make teams find an edge that maybe, they weren't able to find before. I mean, when you think about some of the best teams in the past, the ones that succeeded were the ones who found a specific edge and niche to succeed in, given the environment they were playing in. And I think for us, it's no different. We're trying to not just be in the mix with everybody, we're trying to be better than everybody. And that means finding a specific edge. And what that is, we're in the room trying to figure out. But again, historically, some teams, whether it's the international market or developing their G League guys, or even on the floor, like a 7 seconds or less, all of those were kind of specific, very specific things that teams did to separate themselves from the pack a little bit. We're going to try to get to that level as well. And what that looks like, well, you guys will see hopefully soon.
I guess to follow up on that, Tommy, what's kind of the concern level versus the comfort level with sort of potentially losing pieces of a championship team while there are other kind of rising contenders that are in more of a position to add pieces to their team? How do you kind of see the way that you guys kind of evaluate that and then attempt to counter that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, there's a ton of continuity going forward for us, which is great. I mean, some other teams may have it as well, but continuity has been such an important factor for us over the last 5, 6, 7 years. We still have the best player in the world at the end of the day. We have incredible pieces around him. Yes, there's always, we have to do stuff at the margins to make sure that, maybe we don't lose a game here and there, and all of a sudden, our fortunes are a little different. But at the end of the day, I mean, we believe in our team, what we have. We believe in the guys who are succeeding, the guys who may leave or not. And we believe in our coaching staff, and I think there's plenty of positivity to be looking ahead for.
This question is for both of you guys. Tommy, what did you see in DaRon that you wanted to move up in the draft to get him? And then DaRon, when you found out the Nuggets moved up to get you, what did that mean to you?
I can start. Yeah, I mean, I'll give Cal a lot of credit. When Cal sees somebody that he likes, from a player perspective, I mean, Cal goes up and gets him, right? I mean, we've done that before as well. And Cal has been right so many times on some of these players. Even, when it seems like they might fall, all of a sudden there's a smart team out there that goes and gets them. And I mean, for DaRon specifically, there were teams right in that range where, hey, I mean, who wouldn't love to get this guy on their team? So at the end of the day, sometimes you have to pay a price. But if you believe in somebody enough, if you have a vision for a player like that, you just go out there and get them, and then you figure it out later. So, I mean, I think Cal did a great job with that.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what he said, I think if you believe in somebody like that, it just shows a lot and it means a lot. So it means a lot to me that they were willing to do that, and I think it's worth it. I see a great fit. This is a culture that I think any NBA player would love to be a part of. So the fact that I have the opportunity I'm just very grateful for it.
And we wanted to add some extra pressure on him, of course, just to make sure that, we spent all these assets, DaRon, you got to go out there and play now, man.
Oh, man.
DaRon, I'm curious what your big goal is for your career. If you think about it at all, what kind of player, what you want to accomplish in your career, what are some of those goals?
Honestly, I just try to stay where my feet are. But to be real, I just try to have little goals that end up leading me to big goals. So, just continue to getting better every day, winning games, being able to be a part of a championship team, which I am on right now. So, honestly, just taking things one step at a time is the biggest thing for me. I'm not too big on just all the big crazy stuff. So, I'm just here and I'm just ready to get to work.
Then on a more short view, as you're coming out of Dayton, finishing your college career, where's the first thing you think you can improve on as a player? Is there one skill that you said, all right, here's an area I can improve immediately?
Kind of like I said earlier, to be honest, I think just everywhere. I don't think that you could just be finished with being good at just one thing. So honestly, whatever they have in store for me to get better at, and watching film and seeing what I need to improve on is where I'm going to improve on next, and just keep going from there.
DaRon, I believe you said that you look up to or emulate Aaron and Nikola. What about those two? Am I correct about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You saw that?
Sure. Yeah. What about those two do you specifically look up to things, or what about them is something that's intriguing to you?
Well, I'll start with Aaron Gordon. He plays on both sides of the ball, which I think is very valuable. He rebounds the ball very well. He's a leader. He can shoot the ball as well. He's a competitor. He plays hard, especially on the defensive end. Just all those things I really like about his all-around game. I think it just adds so much value to him as a player. I think he's transformed his game to when he first came into the NBA. So just seeing how he did it is pretty cool, and I would definitely like to continue to follow those footsteps. And to back off of Jokic, like I said earlier, I mean, it's Jokic. Who wouldn't want to learn from him? That's all I really have to say about him. I mean, what else?
DaRon, the all-important question, have you taken advantage of the spicy nuggets yet?
Not yet. I mean, I haven't gone by, but I definitely will. I heard about that. I didn't know if it was a real thing until me and my friends were talking about it. They're like, no, this isn't just the Wendy's in Denver. This is the Wendy's that tweeted that out. So, this is actual Wendy's. So I'm going, so I definitely want to try them out, see how they are.
And my last question for you is, it appears like your family's here, you're getting all this attention. Does this make this fulfilling your NBA dreams that much more real to you?
It definitely does, but my dad pointed out something pretty well before we were at dinner the night before the draft. It is one thing to get here, but it's another thing to stay here. Although as a little kid I've always dreamed of making it to the NBA, now that I'm older and came to the realization that, it's more about, staying in here, and just continuing to get better and understanding that although it was fun and all this is fun, I still haven't arrived yet, and there's still a lot more to get done, so.
All right, thanks. Go ahead and hold your jersey for a quick photo op.
Am I moving away?